Hey everyone, wanted to do a quick tutorial on Tumble Books. This is a website that allows you to read books online for free via a subscription that the school bought. So I want to walk you through how to log in and then also how to navigate a little bit so it's not such a new thing. So first things first, please make sure you have a pen and paper or a fresh Google Doc on hand. That's going to be to write down the login, the password, and then also whatever the title and author of your book is that you pick, and the page number that you leave off on. Tumble Books is a little jumpy sometimes, so sometimes it'll save it and other times it won't. So if you have it written down and you also bookmark it, you'll be able to find your spot pretty easily either way, depending on what it does for you. So if you need to pause the video to get something like that set up, please do. Otherwise, we're going to continue on. With that being said, want to go to tumblebookcloud.com, just like you see up here. Once you are done with that, you will be on the home page, the login screen. You're going to want to go to the upper right-hand corner, and the username everyone will be using is Moline123, all lowercase. Our password is going to be the word login, Login. And then you're going to click the blue button underneath. And you now have access to Tumble Books. Feel free to save it if you'd like, the password and the user. If not, no big deal. But this is the home page once you've been logged in. So you can see some new additions, and then it kind of breaks it down into some genres as well. So if you're like, oh, I'm totally into graphic novels, click on that, and it'll give you some more subcategories, and then you click on those and you can see more and more. If that's the way you want to go about looking for a book, that's fine with me. But I do want to walk you through a couple other ways to look for things as well. If you go to the blue banner near the top, click on the word index. That is going to take you to an alphabetized list of all the books that Tumble Books has that you can read at any time for free. So as you can see, they're alphabetized by title, starting with some numbers at the top, but these are all the A's. Obviously, there are a ton of options to choose from. So there should be something that everyone can enjoy here somewhere. If you know what you're looking for, you can click on a letter and it'll take you to that in the list. Otherwise, you can just kind of browse that way. Something that may be of interest to some of you is this red audio tile. So if you see that next to a book, and all these are hyperlinked, so like, oh, 1984, that's what I want to read. It has one of these tiles. You can click on that. It's going to give you a brief summary of the book, so kind of think of it as the dust jacket or what you'd see on the back of the book cover, give you a little idea as to what it's about. And you're like, okay, I definitely want to read this. You go over here. Let's say this is the book I want to read. You can add it to favorites first, and you'll get a little note that said that's successfully been done. Remember that in a second. And then you want to read it online, or you want to listen online. So if you want to listen, click here. It'll open up a new tab. And what will be happening is you get this track down here. You can press play.
Blackstone Audio presents 1984 by George Orwell. Part 1, Chapter 1. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Winston Smith, his chin nuzzled it.
So as you can see, you can mess around with this. You can move on, whatever you want to do. As far as the audiobooks go, I haven't used them very much, but if you're someone who likes to be read to, by all means take advantage of this. Just make sure you bring some headphones. But let's just say I want to read this. You can click here, and you'll get a slightly different looking version. But the important thing is you have the book and a couple of features that you'll see. So 1 of 18, that's just like your first chapter. So on the first page of 18 in chapter 1, if you want to go to a different chapter, you can click on the chapter menu down below, and you can scroll through and click wherever you want to go, and then close. Let's say this is where you've ended up. You're in part 3, chapter 2, and then, all right, I'm done reading for the day. You're going to want to click this bookmark button, and set bookmark, close, and then whenever you go back to read this, if it opens up to the front, you can go bookmark, go to bookmark, and it will take you to the last page that you bookmarked. Remember, I would also recommend writing it down. So, okay, I'm in part 3, chapter 2, page 1 of 25. And that way, if it doesn't save for some reason, you have that backup and you can easily get back to reading. Text options as well, so you can enlarge the text. You can make it more spaced out if that's easier for you as well. You can change the type of font. So there's a bunch of different tools there to make things easier for you depending on what's going on.
Call 8804, please.
After that, you can also change the color of the text. So, like if you're reading at night or in the dark or the day or whatever it may be, you can change the background. Whatever you want to do, that's all up to you, okay? And then whenever you're done, you're just going to close your tab. You're back onto the regular Tumble Books site. Last thing I want to go over is the My Favorites. So we already added this book to My Favorites by clicking this button here. Same process for any other book. You go to My Favorites, and as you can see, any book that you've saved here will show up. So let's say I was reading another book. Let's say I was reading a graphic novel of Romeo and Juliet. You're going to be taken to this, and you can scroll through this way using your mouse pad. And then this is just how you're flipping the page, all right? So you scroll all the way through, you're reading it downward, and then you're clicking this to move on to the next page. Once you've completed, you want to go to the next chapter. So like that was it for chapter 1, scene 1. It didn't let me go any further. All right, I finished this. Moving on to the next one, going through. If you left off somewhere, you can go to the chapter menu, and that'll take you to where you need to go, or you can, sometimes it'll give you some page options as well. It's especially important to write down where you left off with books that are set up this way with the Tumble Pad feature, because I don't believe there's a bookmark function for this. So either way, you want to be writing down what you're reading, who wrote it, and what page you're on, or what scene, or whatever it may be, depending on what you're reading, so you can get back to where you were at when you start reading the next day. And once again, just close that tab, and you're back to square one, basically. If you have any issues with this, please send your teacher an email, but there will also be written instructions included if that is easier for you to follow and navigate. Tons of opportunities. We're going to be taking advantage of your choice, reading whatever you want, and then you're going to be answering some questions about it later. That'll be another video that you'll be able to watch, but hopefully you're excited to find something that you're interested in, and happy reading. Talk to you soon.